back to Inside the Middle East. We're in Beirut now in the Hamra neighborhood at a coffee shop. What we're going to talk about next is very controversial and has truly revolutionized the Middle East. It is what is called user-generated content on the web. People who post their own videos and their own material online. We're going to talk about that with a story by Anish Rahman in Egypt in just about a minute. But first, I want to get a first-hand take by a journalist and blogger, Habib Bata, who's very familiar with this topic. You've written about it before. Tell me, how has this changed the way young Middle Easterners consume news in the Middle East?
Well, for the first time, we have a new outlet that we never had before. We never had the chance to really tell our side of the story, what's going on in the Middle East today, not from the mainstream media point of view, not from the Arab media point of view, which is all full of censorship and the Arab governments are controlling the media. Just give us a way to express ourselves freely. I mean, nowadays I can go to a blog in Kuwait or in Saudi Arabia and find out what's really going on there, because of course Saudi TV and Kuwait TV, it's just kind of these, fake images of people meeting and greeting and heads of state. It's very boring. I can read a Kuwaiti blogger tell me, hey, Virgin Megastore was closed down today. The police raided Virgin Megastore. And people connect that way. We have a community, a support network maybe. I mean, even during the war last summer when there was bombs falling in the air, I felt a bit of comfort by being able to blog and connect with young people all across the world. That's right.
Thanks, Habib Bata, as always. We'll take a look at Anish Rahman's story on one blog that has generated a lot of buzz in Egypt with a portrait of its creator.
It is cramped, cluttered, and for 33-year-old Wael Abbas, the perfect office for one of Egypt's best-known blogs. Wael clocks 1 million hits per month on MasrDigital.com. The popularity due in large part to frequent postings about police abuse. Most, he says, are backed by videos that in some cases were shot by the police themselves.
You can see how the officers are having fun with what they are doing, and as if they were shooting a movie.
So is this the area you grew up in?
Yeah.
How long have you been here?
All my life.
Yeah?
Like almost 33 years now.
At his family's apartment just outside Cairo, we met Wael to find out how he went from literature student to full-time blogger.
At first it was trivial. It was getting to know people, getting to know girls, friends and stuff like that. But gradually one started to want to talk about something more serious, talk about the conditions in the country, talk about politics, religion, the social condition.
And in 2005, that was put to the test. Egypt saw an outburst of activism with groups openly demonstrating against President Mubarak. It was all new, and Wael wanted to make sure none of it was ignored. He photographed the rallies, people he saw detained, and posted the pictures on his website.
And I followed them when they were arresting him, and I kept following them, and I ran in front of them, and I took this picture, and here the officer is shouting as a soldiers to get me.
But Wael's family was still in the dark.
Why did you feel you couldn't tell them?
Because I know that how they will react. And because I know what happens to political activists and what happens to their families once they are discovered or the intimidations start, phone calls, arrests, storming the place and stuff like that.
Wael says threatening phone calls did soon come, but he kept up the pressure, and early this year grabbed global attention by posting this. It is a brutal sight. On the floor, 21-year-old Imad Kabir, a bus driver arrested when he intervened in a dispute between police and another driver. He is being sodomized by police with a stick. Wael put the video on his blog, and overnight, Egypt was talking about police brutality.
It's the first time the Egyptian people saw something like that. Until they saw that people are really in pain and agony and being tortured and being beaten and being sodomized. And it was a shock to the Egyptian people.
A shock, but months later, Wael says nothing really has changed. He says he raised the issue, but the Egyptian people have failed to take action. The Egyptian government tells CNN these are isolated incidents and that overall torture is on the decline. Regarding the Kabir case, they say an investigation is still underway into whether police are at fault. At the campus of Cairo's American University, wireless internet means laptops are as common as cell phones. Here, the internet is king.
our lives are over the computer. We do everything over internet, over chatting, over emails.
Everybody uses Facebook here. Everyone. And like people bring laptops for Facebook.
But when it comes to political blogs, the audience dwindles.
It's sort of an underground thing, like it's not admitted by people that they actually talk about politics and stuff. Most people try and hide it because they're a bit scared of the government.
They call it civic journalism. It's a form of civic journalism. But the question is it journalism?
Dr. Rasha Abdulla teaches mass communications at American University. Her specialty is looking at the internet and its impact in the Arab world. It's what this graduate class is about. And for her, the biggest hurdle for blogs trying to affect change isn't the government, but the minuscule number of people with internet access, an average of only 6% in the Arab world.
A lot of people in this part of the world live under the poverty line. They're not really concerned with how do I get a computer and how do I get access to the internet. They just want to provide for their family.
If not in Egypt, at least the world outside is slowly starting to take notice. Wael this month became the first blogger to get the prestigious Knight Award by the International Committee of Journalists in Washington, D.C.
I still have mixed feelings about it because I'd rather had this appreciation and understanding and recognizing from my own country, from my own people, from, I work as a journalist, but my country does not recognize me as a journalist.
Instead, Wael's freelancing where he can, passing time with friends. To the government, he's just another disgruntled youth, one of many here. But to his friends, Wael is a modern-day hero, Egypt's first major blogger who will not back down. For Inside the Middle East, Anish Rahman in Cairo.